Reusse Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold, investment consultants, Mr. Money Talk. Timberwolves tonight, opening up. Well, technically, they're the second game on national
Yes.
TV tonight, so they will help open up the NBA season in front of a national audience, Pat.
They are listed as a 9 o'clock tip-off. That'll be about 9:25 if we're lucky, right? So
Yeah.
anyway, but so I was trying to think, when's the last time we had huge expectations? And it's probably after the 03-04 season, right? 2004 and 2005.
We're coming.
You know what is interesting is I looked that up. Wally Zerbiak played 28 games in 2003 and 4. Remember that? He was hurt.
He was.
And he in the playoffs, he was in and out of the playoffs. He was in the finals. He played in the finals. We always blame Sprewell for what happened in 04-05 because I got to feed my family. He played 81 games in 2004 and 5. Sprewell missed one game. Zerbiak played 81 games in 04-05, and Cassell was hurt and played 59 games. He was hurt against the Lakers, which is one of the big reasons they lost the Lakers. Kobe and Shaq being the other, but. But how did they get worse? That's what I want to. When Zerbiak goes from playing 28 games to 81 games, how did Flip ended up getting fired after 51 games? What happened?
It was crazy. It did.
It
Now,
is.
the stories are that the chemistry was kind of weird and
Yeah,
off and then, the Cassell injury was a big deal, too.
yeah. But Zerbiak and Kevin never got along, but the numbers were pretty good when they played together. So
Yeah.
it's weird though because I'd forgotten that Zerbiak didn't play that season basically, and played 28 games and they went 58 and 24.
Well,
You
and
know?
I'd have to check and see what. So Trenton Hassel joined the starting
Yes,
lineup,
yeah,
and
yeah,
he
and he
and he
played a
was a
lot.
great addition
Because
defensively.
he guarded people and he was not terrible. I was looking, he started 71 games, Trenton Hassel or so,
Yeah.
who was, and then the other spot, which would have been Zerbiak, was a cluster. They just had a bunch of guys. But compared to depth, it's nothing like this. I mean, this is, you got too much talent now. And it was the depth thing was a big problem back then, and you had that dog Alacandre the second year, right? That's when he came in,
Oh,
and
Oloa Candy. Yeah.
yeah, Ola
Candyman.
The
Candy, he
Candy
was
Man.
the Candy
The
Good
Man.
for the
Candy Man.
economy.
He was
Mhm.
great for the downtown.
Okay.
Bellanote. Was that what
Yeah,
the
Well,
place was?
Belanote.
I happened to be in Phoenix one of the years that he was with our boys, and I was going to my Katie and I spent about 3-4 days in Phoenix right after Christmas, and then I was going to the Sun Bowl, and the cabbie picked me up, and to pick me up, asked me what I was doing there, blah blah blah. He says, "Yeah, we just had the basketball team." He said, and let's just say that the Candyman kept him busy. Uh, Bringing talent in and out of the place while he wasn't playing. He was on the IL. He was on the IL for basketball, but not for all activities. Let's
That's.
let's put it that way. So
They also
what
had
a
that Irvin Johnson with
yes,
like
right.
Buckle
He was
digger,
there
two
for a
knee
while.
braces on each
wristband.
leg.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, and yeah, they had a few guys that they were slapping together. There's no doubt about it. But you know, just the fact that Zerbiak played 1/3 of the games that year and the whole schedule the next year, and they went. They went 44 and 38, but didn't make the playoffs because they must have had. I haven't looked at the standings yet, but the West must have had a high standard for
It
being
was
in the top
loaded,
eight.
and they made they started making a charge after they fired Flip, I think,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
and that's where they won a game or a couple games, and that's where
Yeah.
KG did the famous we're coming" up the standings, but they
But
didn't.
I think when you look at 03 and 04, you just say that's how damn good Garnett was that season. You look at the numbers and they're unbelievable. And
Yeah.
he played 82 games and 40 minutes, average 40 minutes. And it was, and the numbers are just off the charts, so it was, that's how good he was. So, but it is funny how that I do not see that happening this year, that they're not making the playoffs, because they can they can afford 2 weeks of injuries for players, and have players to replace them, I think.
What does your gut say about how far this team goes?
I think the first 20 games of the year we're going to be in a panic because they're going to be 11-9 or something like that. What's wrong with them? I don't think there's any rush to become great. I think you got to figure out your rotation. You got to figure out who you're going to play among these guys. You probably got to get rid of Joe Ingles or somebody, and anyway, but I think they're going to be really good. I think they're going to be outstanding. So, and it's, the secret weapon. I told Jed this yesterday. Luca's the secret weapon,
They're
man.
going to play him.
They're
It
going to
sounds
have
like they're
to,
going to try and play him.
yes, play him 18 minutes instead of Rudy. He can make a shot. He's turned himself into an Adonis too,
Yeah.
for God's sakes. It's, that's a weapon there, but they're going to have guys in the. I was looking up what the G League rules are. If you don't have 3 years service or less, they can send you down there anytime they want to. So, our guy Leonard Miller has a one-way contract, but I don't think we're going to see much of him here this year. I'm curious about Terrence Shannon. Is he going to get any minutes?
Well, it's funny because back between the draft and then summer league, when you saw him at summer league, he's 24 years old. He's
Yes.
an NBA body, and even in the preseason, it was a no-brainer. Like, he was going to get 15 or 20 minutes a
Yes.
night. But then they add the extra body to the rotation with DiVincenzo and the trade, and Josh Minott looks really good.
Yes.
I think he's going to get some run, but
I
it's
think
not as
he's,
guaranteed as it was 3 months ago.
I think he's a poor man's Edwards. He's a brick outhouse. Was the best player in the Big Ten last year,
Yeah.
and I was hoping he'd get some time, but I don't know. It doesn't look like it.
He gets to the rim too, man. Like, he's a freight train when he drives.
Yes. Did you see how much it cost him to cut Bates Diop?
What I did not see.
It's he counts. He's he's only making two something, right?
Yeah,
But
it was like 2.5.
Puts him in some place where it cost him 14 million on the luxury tax.
Oh man,
Getting rid of him. It's like 14 mil.
Glenn Taylor, one of the great owners in American professional
The
sports.
Star Tribune is beginning to drag Glenn down. I think he
Yes.
might be like, this newspaper thing. Let's
Yes,
just continue
yes.
with the basketball
Maybe
thing.
we gotta hope he sells. I don't know that he loses the arbitration so that he doesn't have to, 14 mil it puts you by cutting him. But apparently
Wow.
somebody wrote Tim Connolly's favorite, PJ Dozier, that he loves Dozier. So
He does.
They kept him instead of Bates Diop. But
Hey, on the
they
Glenn front,
they tried to get everybody to get Bates Diop. To take. They tried to give him away, and nobody take him. So
it's I've been a little critical, and we
Yes.
on the show about Glenn Taylor at times over the years. So credit to him. He greenlights. I mean, even like the 14 million just to cut a guy, right? He is sparing no expense on this basketball season, and who knows if he even owns the team at the end of the run. He greenlit the $10 million new, I don't know if you've been down there, they added that new like luxury club where NBA City restaurant and Hubert's used to be.
Oh, really?
They took away half the media seats and added like a new tunnel. So that was $10 million for that upgrade. And they're going to be the second most expensive team in the NBA this year. He's going to take a financial bath on this thing just for them to be competitive and for fans to have an extra place to get a cocktail at halftime.
And how many times have we changed that restaurant, building, bar in that thing now?
I've got it.
14.
Naismith's, what was the original? The guys that owned T Rights own that. So it was a exclusive like supper club,
Yes.
prime rib joint. Then it was NBA City.
Okay.
which
Yes.
was Ralph Burnett.
And what happened to the NBA cities? Did they ever succeed anywhere? I don't know. They
Oh,
were
I didn't
going.
know. So it became a chain thing, huh? There were a few of
Oh,
them.
there were a few of them
Oh, I didn't
around.
know
Yeah.
that.
They should
Yeah.
just make it an Applebee's,
Yeah.
just
And then it became
And then
Hubert's. Because
Hubert
when the
tried it.
Dome left, they
Yeah.
moved to that space. Then it became Cargo. And by
Yeah.
the
Then
way,
they had big crates in there that you were
yeah,
kind of
well,
had
and then that
18
was
the crates.
the last incarnation was basically a weight station,
Okay.
and now it's the backcourt club. But that space is owned by the city. So
Really?
the Wolves put the improvements in and paid the 10 mil, but that space has been owned by the city, not the Wolves. So every tenant,
The city still owns it,
the city still owns that.
even
So
though they.
Cargo was run by the city or was a tenant of the city.
So Glenn's paying rent as well as pumping $10 million into the damn thing.
I don't know if he has to pay rent. That's a good question, but he definitely pumped money into a place that the Wolves don't control financially.
So he must think that they're not going to tear that building down anytime soon, huh? That it's going to be a process to get the new arena that
Yeah.
they certainly are going to try to get us to get, right? So
there's very like preliminary ideating about a new building on the Glenn side, and then also A-Rod and Laurie. But that story that came out, A-Rod kind of came out on a podcast last year and was talking about specifically that farmers market area.
Yes.
And he kind of explained the exact cross streets. And he said, yeah, we've even had conversations maybe with but somebody went and called one of the building owners, and they're like, we have not had so they're not even like having conversations really.
A-Rod, well, the other thing that's going to have to be solved is, they're talking about Hennepin County wanted to tear down the garbage burner, and then they found out how damn expensive it was. So now it's staying there. But if you're going to build another arena down there, you got to get rid of the damn garbage burner, don't you? If you got to, if you got.
I think it adds character, personally.
Yeah, personally, I hope they would just knock down the building that they have, maybe figure out a way to use the Butler Square property too, and then you can't close up the street. But I hope for the sake of the city and First Avenue, I hope they stay where they are, because I don't think this downtown needs. They don't need something down there by the farmers market. They need something
by the Seville. Yes.
Yeah. Well, they need something like the Seville and near Hennepin Avenue.
Yeah, the Twins Club. Watch a Twins game and then go to the Twins Club. Hey.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, it's gonna be fun. There's no doubt about it. I mean, just to see who they end up playing, what the rotation's gonna be, who's gonna play. Connolly, they can play him 26 minutes a game this year, right? They don't have to play him.
They should scale him back to
He's
like 25, 26.
They're definitely.
DiVincenzo can handle. Anthony Edwards can handle. Nikhil if you need it. And Dillingham. I mean, there's enough guys.
I was wondering what Nikhil's status was going to be, and if he was like, because he had a lousy final series, against when they got beat by Dallas, but they played him like they're still in love with him, and so they played him like he's going to be, first or second or third guy off the bench. So
is DiVincenzo the backup point guard now, though? I saw where they've decided that he's the backup point guard because not was the backup point guard in preseason, and it didn't work out. I don't think great.
And I think in point guard we get sensitive about it's the initiator of offense.
The ball handler.
Yeah. The new NBA is not as hung up on that as especially when you got Ants, in big games, he's got the ball in his hands 15 minutes out, every other possession he's yo-yoing out there 28 feet away from the basket trying to figure something out. So although the Phoenix Suns made the bold decision to get a point guard, Tyus Jones, this year instead of not playing last year without one, turned out costing them getting knocked out of the playoffs.
Well, it's funny. They had like three guys that would love to help be initiated or like,
Yes.
however that works. And they needed someone that was a little bit less.
You need the Connolly to just be the old-fashioned point guard for about 28 minutes a game, right? You need the old thing. Then you can do your other stuff and figure.
And then
something
hit the
out.
three when it comes back around to you in the spin cycle. Yeah.
All right, we're all excited to see Bronny tonight, though. That's we're very
second quarter. It sounds like it's very pre-planned. If it's in the flow of the game, he's going to appear in the second quarter. This is the biggest load of crap of all loads of crap.
I hope that the Wolves beat them by 30 points tonight because of this.
We don't have local telecast tonight, right? Nope. We got the crap that TNT is going to throw on us when Bronny hits the flag. It's going to be a sound off game. I'll have the caption, the closed caption on, so I can see who's who. But I will not be able to listen to it when Bronny comes in the game. I would throw up right on my chair. That would be hard.
So I don't know if you guys, Judd, you watch Get Up sometimes. So this morning, Brian Windhorst is out in LA for this.
How's he looking? Is he slim these days? Is he still down? He's down a little bit.
I think he's just kind of classic windy. Yeah, he's enjoying himself.
So he's doing okay.
He'll partake. Yeah.
Okay.
No shame.
But they asked him about the Bronny situation, and he said, and this is his reporting, he said JJ Redick is fully bought into giving LeBron like the best vibes and energy possible. And LeBron is very, very excited about playing with Bronny. And so JJ Redick wants to make LeBron happy. He literally this is probably from JJ Redick, his former coworker, right? That they're going to put him out there in the second quarter and see how it goes, and then see how it goes after the first game, because LeBron really feels energized by the idea of playing with his kid. So
he was pretty energized last year when he played 38 minutes a game as an old man and had a pretty good year. He was fairly energized last year. It's unbelievable. I was telling Judd yesterday that the rumor is he's going to be in on the Las Vegas expansion team, right? That LeBron's going to be, in on it, trying to run it. And I said the first pick in the expansion draft, Bronny, if they end up in the expansion draft.
So we're going to have Tom Brady and LeBron James owning teams in Las Vegas here in about 2 years.
That'll be something, right? I haven't heard much of Brady on the TV.
Oh, you're not missing much.
Declan loves him. Declan thinks he's
terrible. He's terrible.
Next Madden, according to Declan.
Yeah, he won't say anything, I suppose. He just bland.
He's no Greg Olson. He's no Greg Olson.
He talks a ton, Pat. You would hate it.
You would hate him, Pat.
He talks in circles, and so yeah, you would not approve.
Okay, I was gonna make a Bally Twins joke on that subject, but I won't.
R.I.P. Bally's. It's now FanDuel Sports Network North as of yesterday.
I'll tell you guys, I've been saying that the change in college football in college sports the last 2 years is the greatest change in my long history of sports by far, except the view of sports entities for gambling is the damn close second. I'll tell you that. If Joe Namath had somebody in his bar calling a bookie, he got suspended. To now, it's we're interrupting the game in the middle of the first quarter to tell you what the latest point spread is on the remaining part of the game. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's halftime, so make sure you bet now, because here are the new odds for the second half. Yes. Nobody.
Are we ditching this music, by the way?
I think we are. It's a sad day.
No.
Well, who knows, though? I mean, FanDuel could up it.
So what I'm saying is that now all of these stations have bailed, the Twins, all these entities have bailed out on them and gone to this no money MLB thing where they're going to be lucky to get $2 million a year. Did they screw up by not waiting for FanDuel to buy them?
I don't. FanDuel isn't. But it's just branding.
Rights.
It's just branding,
and I think they get a 2% equity in the actual Diamond property. So it's not.
I thought they were buying Diamond. No.
No.
Oh no, they're still bankrupt as hell.
Yeah.
Okay.
That ain't changing. We're bankrupt, but we'll be back after this.
I see the Twins today revealed the name of their hitting coach after everybody in town a week
like
ago.
a month later.
We're gonna have a Zoom. We're gonna have a Zoom with them today too at 2:00.
Yeah, well,
with the new guy.
Good luck. I don't care. See the ball, hit the ball. Is that what he's going to say?
I'll tell him that. I think that's what we should tell him.
No, I was talking about baseball with us. By the way, the 81 World Series, the Yankees and the Dodgers, is finally being replayed here 40 some years later. That was the first one I covered. Still one of my favorite all-time events because of Steinbrenner and the whole thing. But I had Lee Montville was the Boston Globe columnist, and I had him send me a column that he wrote that I kept her for 20 years. Remember, now you guys, Declan wasn't around and Phil was none. You were none in 81 too, right, Phil? You weren't.
I was -4. Yeah.
You were -4.
I remember it.
Well, George.
I'm there.
George got in a fight in the elevator, allegedly, on the 12th floor because some guys were insulting New York, and he got in a fight with them. He had a broken hand. That was the excuse. Montville wrote the column about how he and George rode up the elevator together, and they kicked the crap out of some Nazis on the 3rd floor and some bikers on the 5th floor and some terrorists on the 7th floor. And then he got out and he didn't know what happened. After he got out, he didn't know what happened with George. It was one of the great columns of all time. I had him send it to me yesterday. He tracked it down and found it and sent it to me yesterday. But
this will be a fun one. You got the two best players in the world.
Oh yes.
Right.
Yes, you do. But I was talking to somebody. Baseball's got an unsolvable problem. They can't figure out how to get the ball in play. It's just we don't have it in play often enough, and that's because the hitters are waiting for the fat pitch, and the pitchers are going to 3-2 before they're going to throw the fat pitch. So it's a really huge problem for the game. Plus, I see what are we up to now? The division series was 315 or something like
316.
that. 316 average.
An increase of 12 minutes per game.
Yes. So
we're also the extra innings. When you go to extra innings now, it drags more.
That's right. Because we're all used to putting a guy at. I can't say that's unique in baseball, though. I mean, hockey. Those idiots in hockey. Now they go to overtime, and instead of playing 3-on-3, okay, I'll give you one overtime. And then we play 3-on-3. We can't play all night with these damn 3 overtime games with guys dragging their ass up and down the ice. Can't even move. Let's change the rules here. I'll give you one 20-minute period, and then we do what we do. And it's like baseball should do that for the playoffs too. Like, okay, we'll play 11, but then in the 12th inning, we're going to put the guy on second, just like we do in the regular season, something like that. So,
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'm Dodgers Yankees though. I mean, if they don't get good ratings for this, they're never going to get good ratings again, right?
No, and you can probably shut her down at that point. I think.
Meanwhile, thanks for forewarning me about the broadcast tonight and how I can't listen to Grady and Jim Pete. I got to listen to the TNT guys fawn over Bronny. It'll be awful. So
very exciting. Yeah. Well, enjoy the broadcast on mute tonight with the subtitles, and we'll catch up again this week, Pat.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you. See you.
All right. Reusse Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold. Just for old time's sake.
Now, I think I saw officially the rebranding is going to happen with the Wolves game, next road game, since that is on FanDuel now. So
and the app that we all have on our smart TV, that's just going to rebrand to FanDuel, right? I don't have to download anything, change my account, none of that stuff.
Press release read like that was going to take place, but if I'm not mistaken, the Wild and Florida are on Bally tonight, and I think it's still Bally tonight, and then I think they're going to be, because clearly there will be more people shockingly watching a Wolves game probably than a hockey game. So we'll find out what I just hope that the new song is as enthusiastic.
Yeah, I mean it's difficult to come up with these sports theme songs, but we'll miss this one.
You know what that is? That's the sound of positivity right there. That's how I always think of it. The sound of positivity. Everything
is
can be going
fine.
wrong. Like you're having a bad day.
Everything is fine.
If I was a therapist, I would bottle that song and send it with all of my clients. And I'd be like, if things are going bad,
you're going to be okay.
Twins lose 11-2, but we'll talk to Jose Miranda, who had a multi-hit game.
You got in a car crash. Before that, your car was robbed and you lost $20. But you know what? Coming up next, we're going to talk about your dinner, which will be delicious.
Yes. All right. Oh my gosh. Reusse Unchained.